Hello! Today is Tuesday, July 21st, and here I am again, still in Wichita. Spent day 2 at the Hansa Center today of my first follow-up trip. Yesterday I said it was Monday, July 19th, but it was Monday, July 20th, because today's Tuesday, July 21st, 2015. So, so I started today with the CRT, which is I don't know if it's technically a diagnostic test, but that's the closest thing I can compare it to. It's a test where they basically take various temperature readings. A lot of them are in your face, your neck, and then your abdomen. And there's some on like the chest area and some other areas. I completely lost my train of thought. But what they're doing is taking temperature readings and then it's over a period of time with temperature fluctuation in the room or like around your body basically, and the way your body responds to the temperature changes tells them how your body is functioning, specifically how your organs and some other, like your lymph system and stuff, are functioning. So, and then they also took my blood pressure. Interestingly, she was a woman that did the testing for me. Her name's Heather, and you do your blood pressure lying down, then sitting up, then standing up. And my lying down blood pressure was 116/69. Then my sitting up blood pressure was 105/66. And then my standing was 98/70. So mostly it was going down when I thought it should have been going up. Lying down, it should have been, in my mind, it should have been less. However, I had been moving around and stuff, and then laid down, and then she took my blood pressure right away. So, I didn't get to rest first and then have the blood pressure taken. So I would assume that would have affected it. But I did ask my doctor about it, and I said, "Isn't that abnormal? Shouldn't it have gone up as I, was increasing in activity?" And he said not really, because the fluctuations weren't that great. And then I also asked him if I should be concerned that my blood pressure is so low, and it always has been. And he said that he has found that's very typical with his patients, and he doesn't know why. But he's thinking it might have something to do with blood viscosity. So anyway, there really wasn't something that we looked into or talked about much. He just said it's just another one of those things, I guess, that I would think, as we correct different things going wrong, that should eventually, my blood pressure should be a little stronger, I would guess. So, okay, so I was going to say something about the CRT. I forgot. They did the CRT first, then the blood pressure, and I was going to get to something about the CRT, but I forgot what it was. I don't remember what CRT stands for either, and I meant to look it up, but I didn't get a chance. I'm trying to get this done quick, so I've got something I need to do tonight. So I made notes here that I'm looking at about today. Okay, well, I had my CRT, took my blood pressure, then I had an ionic foot bath. Then I did the ST8, and the Valkian, which the ST8 loosens or goes on the lymph nodes, different places. Yesterday I had it here, and then on the back in the same areas. Today I had it on the back again, but then on the sides of my head. or my neck. I'm not sure exactly where the probes were touching. And then the Valkian is the singlet oxygen. Both of those things do a lot of different things, which basically supercharge healing. Then I had a lunch break after that. Then I saw my doctor. And the first thing I did was went over some questions because yesterday I was so interested. I was just enjoying and kind of soaking up the experience of being back. And really, when I was doing my video recording yesterday, I realized that I had hardly asked any questions and didn't know a whole lot about what he had done and found. There were a few things he told me, but I didn't ask questions at all that I recall. So I went back and asked some things about yesterday. And one of the things was he had checked out my eyes and then given me some kind of remedy. And I thought that had to do with my eyes. And he said no, that remedy was because he had located a blockage of just like an energy blockage over my head. And so that was just to clear that blockage up, which would just like block proper energy flow and healing from happening. Then I asked him, because he did give me a virus remedy. I wasn't sure about that yesterday. And I did get one. But he said he didn't really know anything about the virus, what it was, or where it was affecting my body, or if it was an all-over thing. Didn't really matter. He just kind of found the remedy to correct whatever's going wrong in regards to having a virus. And it could have been an old virus that I'm not necessarily like sick right now, symptomatically, but that it's still affecting my body. So there wasn't a lot to learn about the virus thing there. Okay, so we talked about that. Well, then I asked him yesterday, remember I said that he told me this really cool thing about music, and he played it while he was doing his testing over me. The music he was playing is called whole tones, WHOLETONES, whole tones. So look into that and see if you can find some information about that. It's pretty cool stuff. Then I just kind of asked him some specific questions regarding remedies or supplements I already was taking, and some other minor things that are inconsequential, really. So then I got on the table and went face down. He put the magnetic plates. I think he put magnetic plates on. I actually didn't ask, but that's my memory of what it was last year when he did that, is magnetic plates to balance the energy and restore polarities and things like that. And we did some manual adjustments on my back. Then I went face up on the table, and he got his percussor out. It's a little machine that it doesn't vibrate. It's percussing, but essentially what it feels like is like a vibration. And he put that on my head. I had some cranial fixations. Last year I'd had a lot, and this time I just had a couple. So he was kind of fixing that, get the bones moving properly again, which felt really good. That's one of my favorite things, is when he percusses my head. Oh, and my face too. He did some on my face. Then he started doing some bioresonance scanning, and he just was finding blockages all over. And he said, yeah, for some reason your body it's building up blockages. And so instead of giving me the one-time remedy for that, which is what they often do, and that's like what he did yesterday for the one over my head, he said he just made one up for me to take regularly. And so I asked about that. I'm like, well, do you know why, or how they form, or why they form, or even what to do to prevent them from forming? And he said, no, really, don't know why it happens or how. It's just the body kind of resisting the healing, basically. So that's about all there is to say about that. So take the remedy and get my body back to healing some more. I didn't have that problem last year that I know of. I didn't have regular blockages. My body really was responding well to everything. It was really cool. But a year has passed, and it's been a rough year. I would describe it as a year of basically living mostly in survival mode. Just there's been a lot to do, a lot of tasks to do constantly. Not a lot of time to focus on my own physical needs or get the rest I need, um, and things like that. A lot of emotional ups and downs. So it's been, I mean, it's not been a horrible year. It has certainly hasn't been the worst year I've ever had, but it's taken a toll. So I'm not entirely surprised. Actually, I'm not at all surprised that there were those blockages. But I want to know how to correct them. So he couldn't tell me much about that other than take the remedy. But I'm going to see what I can learn myself. Usually things like this, if I start researching or looking into things or just praying about it, even the Lord will show me the way to learn. Even if I don't find out what's happening physically, I already know, I'm sure, what's happening spiritually, and maybe I can learn how to, either process things emotionally a little better or pray better, or I don't know. I think what I need is prayer support and a community, really more of a local community. I have lots of great people who love me from afar, and I know that they pray for me. There's probably more people praying for me than I know, probably more often than I know, but it's not a replacement for having local community and local support and people I can see and talk to and who can participate in my life. So I personally think that would help tremendously, but I'm sure that there's also more personal stuff I could do. Okay, so from there, then we started talking about, he started looking into some abdominal issues of mine, and liver and digestive issues are a big problem right now in my body. So he found that my liver and gallbladder are kind of all stopped up, and basically it's like all of the energy is blocked up and stopped up in my liver and gallbladder. It's not flowing over to the spleen and stomach. So first of all, the liver and gallbladder needs some release, some healing, some correction, and then also there needs to be some harmony brought back into what's all going on in my abdomen. So he gave me some stuff for that. And it was very interesting as he was finding the remedies that were going to work for that. They actually turned out to be, he got out his little book then that tells him what they do, and was reading these long lists of what the remedies are for. There were 3 of them that he mixed together. And I can't remember everything that he said, but it all covered all of my main issues: insomnia, pain, fatigue, and other minor issues, like menstrual issues and dry eyes, and there was just a slew of symptoms that I have that were all pertaining to what's wrong with my liver and gallbladder. So that was really interesting and actually really nice to be able to get all that compacted into one, so that can just take one remedy for all those things and hopefully knock them all out of the park. Then we went over the CRT results, and we compared to last year's. I've got them here, so I'm just going to look at them to remind myself. They were very good. It showed a lot of improvement. A lot of areas that are doing completely fine. My jaws and teeth are great. I think my chest, he said, was perfect. Although when I'm looking at this, that doesn't look like I would think it should look. The test doesn't look like what it seems like it should look like to me to represent perfect. So maybe that wasn't the one that he said was great. But my head is okay, but some issues on the left side. He asked if I had any head trauma, and I did once get hit in the head very hard with a baseball bat when I was a kid, blacked out, fell to the ground and everything. Actually, it wasn't a bat. It was like a big old stick that we used. We were just hitting it around, and my brother swung and hit the ball, and I was standing too close to him, and it's my own fault. Although I was a kid, I didn't know any better, and I got just smacked, and the bat broke on my head, and that was very painful. I think I had a really bad black eye for a long time from that. So anyway, some issues in the head, but some areas of the head that look real good. My neck was kind of all over the place, but actually that was an improvement over last year. Last year it was like my neck wasn't really doing anything, and when I say my neck, it's basically the lymph system in the neck. So it looks like my lymph system is actually doing something. It's like, hey, I'm an immune system. I'm going to work now. So, and we know that I have some kind of virus or had it or whatever. So that's no surprise that would be showing some problems. And it's actually a good thing that it's showing that it's operating. Big area of concern is the upper abdomen, which we already talked about. I already talked about liver, gallbladder, spleen, and stomach. Along with the liver and gallbladder issues specifically, we were also talking about digestive issues and not having enough stomach acid, basically, and so got some remedies for that too. And that all kind of goes together to help restore harmony all over in the upper abdomen. Lower abdomen looked pretty good. I think there were a couple of, maybe problem areas, and my back, I think, looked fine. I don't exactly know what I'm looking at when I look at these. I'm just trying to go off a memory of how he explained it and how I think it's supposed to look based on how he was explaining it, but I might not have it correct. But anyway, overall, he said that the CRT was showing about 50% improvement from last year, and I was like, really? That's a big improvement to me, especially considering it's been a whole year now since, almost an entire year since I was here. So I'm pretty happy with that, and I look forward to even greater improvements in the future. Look at my notes here quick. Yep, okay, so then and we chatted about some other things. I asked there were some other things that we'll touch on in later appointments, so I'm not going to bother mentioning them now. So after my doctor appointment, I had power plate, which is the vibration thing that stimulates muscle activity to help restore the health of the whole body, basically. It's an incredible tool. Then I had the Lux, which was over my liver, spleen, and heart. Had a sauna and had a massage. This was cool. In the sauna, I met... I don't want to make this a super long story. It's cool. Basically, I met a woman who's local, and she's a Christian. Yesterday, when I was in the sauna, one of the women that was in there with me was a Christian. She lives in Jacksonville, and we had talked about a few different things. And then I had mentioned, because then we were talking about accommodations here in Wichita and things, and I had mentioned that I would like to have friends here in Wichita, not only because it's nice to have friends, but because maybe they could help me out, with I could stay with somebody, or they could loan me a car or something, so I don't have to worry about hotels and car rentals and all that stuff when I come. And it would just kind of be cool to stay with people when I'm here. So we had talked about that yesterday, and then when I went in the sauna, then another woman came in named Sarah, and then Angie, that's the woman I met yesterday, and we were talking. Angie came in, and right when Angie came in, Sarah and I were talking about, because she's a local person, so we had gotten talking about churches, and she had asked, basically, like, what brand of Christian are you? And so I was just saying that I was that I would consider myself either what they call charismatic or spirit-filled or something like that. And then Angie came in, and it was funny. Angie and I had talked about Christian stuff yesterday, but we didn't get real in-depth. And we may have mostly just talked about different church things, about maybe how to find a church here. But then Angie got excited because she's spirit-filled, and then Sarah said that she was too. So then we had this great discussion just all about speaking in tongues and spirit-filled life and stuff like that. And I just was like, oh my gosh, look at this. Sitting in the sauna in, however many miles from home and meet these ladies that, we were really connecting. And so Sarah's going to hook me up with her church, and I might try to go visit while I'm here yet this week. It's hard to get there in the evenings. Would be better, I guess. It might work better to just wait till next time and go over the weekend, because it's hard to pack anything into the evening when got Hansa all day and then have to get home, shower, eat, and get ready for the next day. It's hard to pack other stuff in. Yesterday I got done real early, so I could do some extra things, like I had gone out looking at hotels, but to see if there's a better hotel that I want to stay at. But to try to go do some kind of activity, I don't know if I'll be able to, but I'm going to look into it, and that was just really cool. Just one of the fun little surprises that God has had for me. I had some yesterday, had some. Did I have any? I can't think of what. I'm sure there were some on Sunday. I just can't think of them right now. But yesterday there were several just little. Oh yeah, even just the car, the Jetta I got on Sunday, the rental car and the hotel. Those were just really, they worked out great for me, and I was really happy with them, and I felt really taken care of ahead of time. That the Lord had gone before me and prepared the way, and then yesterday. Just had some things, and today had some things, so it's just really cool. So, alright, hope you've enjoyed this update. See you next time.